Hi, this is the Rusted Willow, and my name is Tammy. If you like DIYs, hauls, flips, and everything farmhouse, you are in the right place. If you are returning, thank you so much for your support. If you are new here, welcome, and I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button. So let's get into these DIYs because I am so excited to bring you some boho decor for fall, and I've never done this before, so this is completely out of my wheelhouse. DIY number one. Okay, so we are going to be doing a dream catcher. I love dream catchers. I've never made one. I've always wanted to. I have 1,000 doilies somewhere, but I couldn't find one, not one. And I just bought these the other day on a whim. I saw them laying there in the thrift store, and I just happened to pick them up. Thank goodness, because I couldn't find my other doilies, and I know I have them. What I do is I just string this doily on with some embroidery thread, and I don't string it on too tight or too loose. I just want it taut, but I don't want it sagging to one side or pulling to one side or the other or sagging on any side. As you can see, I'm just using the corners of the doily, and I'm just threading it through one of the little, I don't know, holes in the corner of the doily, and it fits in the smallest ring perfect. Now, this is a pack of 3 that I got from Dollar Tree, so these 3 rings cost me $1, and I pull it tight and I make sure that it's center, and then I just tie a knot. Okay, so next I'm going to attach this to the largest hoop, and I just use that same embroidery thread, and I just wrap it around both hoops together and get it as tight as I can. And here I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so now I am just taking my embroidery thread and I am weaving it through the holes in the doily and around the largest hoop. Now, I have never made a dream catcher before. I'm not a dream catcher expert. I just had a vision in my head, and this is what it was. And if I would have been thinking, my vision should have involved some beads, but it didn't. I didn't think of adding beads until after I was done. So there's that. So now I am just adding clips to keep the string in place because I want to pull it tight and I don't want it to move around. And now I'm just adding some hot glue to keep those strings in place. And I just add a tiny, tiny bit just to hold it in place. And I put it on the back side, not the front side. And there's my little hoop and big hoop. Okay, so then I am adding some strings down below because I love all the long strings, and I add, this is actually macrame cord, and I make it super long, and I add 3 pieces, and I didn't show you how I attach them, but I will show you later on in this video. So I decided I wanted to braid this, so I added 3 cords, I doubled them up, and then I decided I'm going to add some beads. This is where I got the idea for beads, right here. I'm like, oh, beads. And so I add some beads to the cords, and I make them, I tape them off at the end so it's easier to thread the beads on. And then after that, I just continue to braid. Guys, you want to stay to the end of the video. There will be a code word that I'm going to give you, and there is going to be a huge giveaway. Not only will you get a set of the Farmhouse calendars, but there's also a $100 gift card up for grabs. You're also going to want to go to the playlist and watch the other creators and see what their code word is, because if you comment on all of our videos, you will be entered in the drawing. All right, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I hope you would consider doing so. Collaboration with MiguelitosDIY and 19 other ladies. There are 21 of us total, and the playlist will be linked down below for all these fabulous creators. So make sure you go down and watch that playlist. Again, this is a giveaway. I will give you the code word at the end of my video. All right, let's get on with part 2 of the Dreamcatcher. Okay, so now I'm just continuing to add the fringy part, and I am going to show you how to make a feather, which I've always wanted to make these, and they're a lot harder than what they look. I'm just gonna say that. So what you do is you get your middle cord as long as you want it, and I kind of measured mine to the same length as the cord that I braided. So I added the beads to the top because I wanted beads on both sides, and then I start cutting my macrame cord to length, and here I'm just showing you, and honestly I didn't measure these at first, and I'm just showing you how to put it on the cord. So basically you fold it in half. You fold one piece of cord in half, you lay it under the middle cord, and then you fold the second piece of cord in half and you lay it over the middle cord, and then you pull them through the loop. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, you can see what I'm doing. And then I decided maybe I better measure these. They're about 12 to 13 inches long. I was just going to show you here how long it was, and then I just start cutting. Okay, so I just continue cutting the cords, and here you can see how I put them on the middle cord. I just match up the ends, and then I pull the ends up through the loops that are laying there. Super simple. This is the simple part. The hard part is brushing out the feather and cutting it to make it look right. And actually I feel like I cut more off than I wanted to, because I wanted a big feather and I wanted multiple feathers, but this one took so long, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, so now I got all the little loops on there, and I am cutting it down. Make sure you have a sharp pair of scissors. That really helps. So anyway, I have all the cords laying flat, and maybe I shouldn't have unraveled them, but I felt like I wanted them to be brushed out because I like that look. And once I got my shape cut, I went back and I unraveled each little strand, and that took quite a long time. And then my hands started to hurt, because if you just brush it out without unraveling it, it'd take you forever. Forever. I couldn't find anything that would brush it out with it being rolled up. The easiest thing to do was to unravel all the cords and then brush them out that way. And then once you got them brushed out, you needed to trim again. Just trim it up, make it all nice and even. And this is so satisfying. I love it when I trim it and I get it so pretty on the edges. But then I went to hang it, and it doesn't hang like a feather. It just kind of droops there. So I thought my sides were too long, so I trimmed up the sides even more than what you're seeing here. But I kept having to brush it out because I'm kind of a perfectionist, OCD. Anyway, crafting is really hard for me. It's hard when you're a perfectionist. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. And I make sure that my feather has a point, and then I'm kind of measuring it out. So I thought, well, I'm going to put some hairspray on there. So I put hairspray on both sides because I wanted it to be a little bit stiffer, and I didn't want to put Mod Podge on it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do to make that a little stiffer so that it... Okay guys, we are at part 3 of the Dreamcatcher. So now I am going to be adding some floral on the side, and I love how this turns out. I'm not in love with the fringe. I think I'm gonna have to change it up because I wanted more, and I wasn't happy with the doily being like ivory, and then the white cord at the bottom was just too stark white for me. so I may have to tea stain it and then put it back on. So anyway, I'm not sure yet, but let's get on to the florals. So I add these gorgeous leaves that I used in my last video, and we haven't talked about these leaves yet because I'm waiting to do my second haul video, part 2, which I guess I won't be posting this week because I already have several collabs going on. So it might be next week before I get that posted to talk about the rest of my haul and the jackpots that I found in Waco. So I'm excited about that. But I will post part 1 here so you can see what we got in part 1 if you haven't seen that yet. So anyway, I am using the same flowers that I used in my last video. They are fall colors. There's like a rust color, a black color, a red, like a rusty red, a dusty purple, and I just love these little, they kind of remind me of cattails. I don't know what they're called, but they're little seed things, and they're dried flowers. They're just gorgeous, and my mom had a crap ton of these, and I want to use them up for fall. So they're beautiful and I love them, and so I just made a couple of bunches and put them on either side. And like I said, I used the same flowers that I used in my last video to make a bouquet, but I think this one turned out better. I don't know. It's gorgeous. I just keep adding greenery until I'm happy with it. So there's different kind of leaves. There's big leaves. There's these little leaves that come on this dried flowers. And I also end up adding some lamb's ear, which I feel like just elevates every bouquet. I mean, any flower arrangement you put lamb's ear in is going to look high end to me, I think. I think it just adds to it. It's another layer of color and texture so that all the colors aren't the same, and I love this when I get it done. So I hope you love it too, and you'll have to tell me what you think if you like it as well as I do. So I just continue to layer the leaves. Guys, don't forget there's going to be a code word at the end of this video, and I am using my Sola wood flowers. I have not done a video for these yet, and I really need to. So I am using my Sola wood flowers on this bouquet, and oh my goodness. Okay guys, on to DIY number 3. Oh, I guess this is DIY number 2. On to DIY number 2. So I take this Dollar Tree pumpkin, and I'm using the Dollar Tree ribbon, and this pumpkin turns out so gorgeous. So I'm giving it a layer of white chalk paint by Waverly, made by Plaid, and then I go over it with, which I forgot to turn on my camera. I go over it with the antiquing wax, and I don't know if you've watched my last few videos, but guys, I'm in love with white wax and dark wax mixed together. But the white chalk paint and the dark wax, if you leave the white paint a little damp before you rub on your dark wax, gives the same effect, and it just looks beautiful. So I am using this feather foil ribbon, I don't know what they call it, but they call it ribbon, from the Dollar Tree, and I stick the top part down through the hole where the stem was, and then I Mod Podge the rest of it on, and on the bottom. And I'm not worried about the wrinkles and it not sticking to the pumpkin. It's gonna be okay, and I'll tell you why. I accidentally came across this. So it was a happy accident. So here I am adding the last piece, and I thought, oh my gosh, it is not touching because I overlapped the other sides too much. So it literally took me like 4 pieces of this ribbon to go around this whole pumpkin. And I just cut the bulk off at the bottom because I don't want it to be so bulky that it's not going to sit flat. And look at this ribbon. I love this ribbon with the feathers on it. It is so gorgeous. Like, how could this only be $1? So I just keep working with Mod Podge at the bottom, trying to get it flat. And my fingers are covered in Mod Podge and sticky. So now here is the trick to this ribbon. If you want it to shrink down to your pumpkin, just use your heat gun. I used my heat gun on the lowest setting, and it shrunk down perfectly to my pumpkin. Like, it not only did it dry, but all the areas that I thought were going to be gapping open, they closed down and shrunk down to my pumpkin. So now it's perfect. It turned out amazing. I love it. I'm going to have to make some more of these. Now, I don't know if I'm a fan of these gold leaves or not, but they're so pretty, and maybe I need to make them smaller, but I added them on to the top of this pumpkin because the gold feathers, did I say leaves before? Anyway, feathers. I cut this feather in half, and I don't know if I'm a fan of it or not, but I'm just going to use this old doorknob that I got, or drawer pull that I got at Hobby Lobby, and that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love this pumpkin. Love it. Okay, so now we're on to, I don't even know what DIY we're on. Number 3. So this is just a metal blank that I got from the thrift store, or I think I got it at thrift store for like 50 cents. Maybe, I don't know. It was in my haul. And I painted it white, and then I wiped it off with a baby wipe. But I didn't like the center because the center had some miscoloration. I don't know. It was real white in some spots and not in others. I got this sticker from the Dollar Tree, which I've never used these before like this. So I thought, you know what? This sticker reminds me of Boho. I don't know. It looks Boho to me. So you tell me whether or not you think this is a Boho DIY. So after I got the sticker on, I just go over it with some dark wax because I like to dirty things up, and then I'm going to rub it in and soften it up with my baby wipe. And I love how this turned out. This is so pretty. So I just keep layering the dark wax until I'm happy with it. And then once I get the sign where I want it, I decided I'm going to use my Sola wood flowers, and I'm going to dark wax them and toss them across the table while I'm doing it. So I go over the 3 flowers, and I'm using the same paintbrush. I'm using the same paintbrush that I painted it white with, and then I dipped it in dark wax. So it's kind of mixing the white paint and the dark wax together. And I'm using some lamb's ear here. I'm going to use the same flower combination that I did before. I thought I was going to add some, what's that called? Cotton, but I didn't like the way it looked. So I just cut off some of these stems really short, and I just mix up the colors. I add the purple and the red and the rust and the black to the sides, and then I bunch them together and I wrap them with twine because I just think that looks so cute, and it gives it a more finished high-end look. At least I think so, in my opinion. I cut off the ends so that they are even, and I'm sorry I'm out of frame, but you'll get to see the next one a little bit better. And there's another flower I decided, I guess I better go ahead and dark wax that one. So, and then my lamb's ear did not want to stick to this metal sign, but it ends up sticking in the end. So here you can see that I'm wrapping these with twine, and then I cut off the ends to make them even. I put a little bit of hot glue to keep the twine in place. I cut it off and put it down on the corner. I add some hot glue, put my lamb's ear and Sola wood flower in place, and then I'm just going to add some more. And like I said, guys, my paintbrush is dirty. It's got white paint and the dark wax on there, and so it's not going on real dark. And it also adds some like white spots to the flowers, which I like, so that it's not just dark, but that looks so stinking cute. And I actually add a touch of white to there. That way they're not too brown. Okay, last DIY. I lost count. I think we're on DIY number 4. Okay, so I went to the graphics fairy and I found these boho pictures, and they are stinking cute. Oh my gosh. So I cut down some very well used, as you can see, poster board. I guess it's not poster board, foam board. And I put my kid glue, what's that called? My glue stick. I used my glue stick and put it all over the foam board, and then I cut down my boho paper. Now, I got sick and tired of my rubber mat. I can't handle the rubber mat anymore. I almost threw it in the trash. I'm not very patient crafter. My rubber mat, everything stuck to it. Glitter. I mean, everything in Dollar Tree is covered in glitter. So there was always glitter and little fuzzies, and I had to get rid of that rubber mat. I couldn't handle it. I went to Floor & Decor and got me a big piece of tile, and that's what I used to craft on, and I love it. However, I used my little crafting knife there, and it doesn't cut very well. I need to put a cutting mat down to cut. This is how that picture turned out, and I just love it. All right, guys, I hope you like these DIYs as much as I do. But before we get to the final reveal, let's get to the giveaway word. Okay, the word is Bohemian. Don't forget to comment down below and put the code word in a sentence, or just leave the code word. Try not to make it obvious for other watchers that don't watch the video all the way through. That way you have a better chance of winning. So there you go. And I want to thank you all for stopping by. To all my new subscribers, welcome, and thank you so much for coming by and watching my videos. To all my other subscribers that have been here for a while, I love you. You know that we have conversations back and forth, and I love those conversations dearly. All right, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I hope you consider doing so. And don't forget to go down and hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. And if you haven't connected with me on social media, I have Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. So you can go over and find me there. Don't forget to go down and watch the playlist. Chance to win a $100 giveaway. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you all have a blessed week. Thanks. Bye.